Okay, hello and welcome to another episode of Hiring and Inspiring. The first episode of 2024. I'm back with some brand new guests. And today is episode one of the new year. I'm delighted to be joined by my mate Shimark Ghaffour. He's a guy I connected with fairly recently. Background in engineering, now works in the world of sales. He's got a bit of an entrepreneurial spirit to him as well. Going to be catching up
Yep.
with Shimark and finding out a little bit about how he got to where he is today, and also chewing the fat on. He's pretty active on the socials. Some of his posts, which caught my eye recently. So, Shimark, with that introduction, mate, welcome to the show. How are you getting on?
Yeah, good man. Good. Thanks for having me on. Obviously, it was great to have a chat with yourself as well early on, and we're back here. We're back into the new years. We're ready to take on bigger goals, bigger challenges, and yeah, man, looking forward to the chat.
Nice. Well, mate, I don't think we've spoken yet this year. How's the year sort of kicked off this end, and how's your time off as well?
Yeah, it's been good, man. It's been really busy. I had a bit of a break, traveled down to Melbourne to meet some of my relatives and my cousins and all that. Drove down, which was really good. Ended
Oh, you
up,
drove?
I drove, yeah,
Well, from Adelaide. Yeah,
yeah.
nice.
It's
That's
about
a nice
about
drive, actually. I've done that. It's nice, isn't it?
Oh, have you? Oh, yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's beautiful.
Mm,
Drove down there, just had spent about a week or something, came back and back into the hustle and
mm.
getting on the social medias and trying to shoot some YouTube videos and all that. But no, it's been good. Yeah, man. How about yourself?
Yeah,
Been to
yeah.
pub?
Back to I was in Bali for a couple of weeks,
Yep.
for a bit of a holiday, which was a lot of fun, and then back to work this week. So back to
Ah,
reality a bit, but no, I'm coming
oh,
back with.
Bali would have been crazy.
It was fun, man. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Never been before, but yeah, it was first time checking it out. So yeah, did enjoy it,
That's awesome.
mate. I want to start with
Hmm.
I guess your sort of recent venture. You launched your own thing, a little bit of a side
Hmm.
hustle, I believe.
Hmm.
Emirate International end of last year.
Hmm.
Talk to
Hmm.
me about that. How's that all been going?
Yeah, no, it's been going great, man. So essentially, me and my dad started this company with the goal of distributing some of the best healthcare products in Australia. Now, the reason is because we do have a couple of great products that we have already launched in the Middle East and that are performing extremely well. And we just felt that in Australia that there's a lack of that. For example, in particularly when people feel cold, they don't have anything to get all the mucus out. I know it's pretty
Okay.
disgusting, but we just felt that there were some products that can really do well, and we wanted to kind of bring that into the Australian market. And we've been doing great. We've been speaking to some of the distributors here, and the products are being launched, which is really good. And yeah, it's kind of a side hustle that's going on at the moment with me and my father, and it's always good to work with your dad. You get all the bit of a good mix of the energetic youth that I'm myself, and a bit of experience, and that great wealth of knowledge in the healthcare sector, and me just on doing smashing out, whether that's approaching distributors, approaching people, approaching clients,
Mm.
and speaking to them about our company. So no, that's been great, man. And I guess that's something that we always wanted to do. We've been talking for about years and years on end. It's been a conversation that, and my dad actually pounded me for the past few months. He's like, Shamak, we've got to do this. We've got to do this. It was
Okay.
the other, yeah, he kept pounding me, and I was like, oh, I can't be bothered. And finally, I got for lack of a better term, got the guts to go and start it, which is great, and it's been such a learning experience. There's nothing like having all running your own show on the side, and being able to generate that revenue on your own, which is really interesting. Yeah.
What's been the biggest learning curve, do you think? Then?
For me personally, it was understanding how to market a product. Uh, Marketing
Okay.
a product is one of the most, I think, toughest things to do because there's so much noise. You can design an awesome website. You can have the best product in the world or the best service, but how do you market it? How do you get people to look at it? How do you get, your the people that you want to reach out to be interested in your product? Whether that's a sports supplement you're selling, whether that's a teeth whitening product, whether that's a multivitamins that you're looking to sell, those kind of things was one of the biggest challenges that we faced, and trying to overcome that and figuring out solutions. Do we run ads? Do we approach this person? So that was getting into that problem solving mode from a marketing perspective was one of the biggest challenges and one of my biggest learning curves, I think. Yeah, 100%.
And what's the dynamic like working with your dad?
Oh, it's awesome, man.
Yeah.
It's really cool. We can be unfiltered with each other, which is always great. He can tell me that you're doing nothing, you're just being lazy all day, and you're not working hard enough, and that motivates me, and I do it. And if I need to push my dad, I can do that. And I can't do that with, if you're having a business partner or something. It's a bit tougher, because with a business partner, you're kind of having this whale, and you have to be professional. And I'm a big firm believer that it's good to work with family. I know a lot of people might disagree with me and think, hey, you shouldn't get your parents in the business. You should get your mom and dad. You shouldn't get your brothers. But I'm a firm believer that as long as you have the people that you trust at the core, it helps it grow because you can be unfiltered and you can just tell things as it is, which is what was really exciting. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're looking to grow it. You said you're looking to expand it. What is the sort of the goal for that business?
Yeah. So the goal is to be in fact, the largest supplier of healthcare products in Australia. That's the goal. That's the end goal. We want to scale. We want to bring in the best products that are out there that haven't been discovered into the market. We want to create our own brand. We want to create our own brand of whether that's sports supplements or whether that's multivitamins. Because what we noticed is that a lot of the people in Australia, they get these pills, and they consume pills like a vitamin D pill or something like that. And pills are very boring to consume. People forget it. And we thought of finding a way to integrate that into people's diets with sweets, gummies that do have those same benefits, and it's nice to consume, fun like a chewy, and you get all those benefits. So that's the end goal, to create that brand, and that's what we're trying to work towards. That.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how are you balancing, doing that work, for the business with, your other responsibilities and etc. How do you find that?
Oh mate, just 12-hour days, man. 12,
Okay.
13-hour
Yeah.
days.
Yeah. Sure.
As soon as I'm off the office, we're on the phones trying to work things out, and whether that's ensuring that we get our marketing material right, booking those meetings, everything happens on the side. So it's not something that I enjoy it. I enjoy that process. I enjoy it, balancing it out. I'd rather be busy, and I wouldn't say it's tough. I enjoy the stress. It's
Yeah.
good. Stress is good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mate, that actually leads me quite nicely onto my next point, where
Yeah.
I'm gonna dive into a few of your
Hmm.
social posts, which caught my eye, which some topics we can
Yeah.
discuss.
Yeah. Yeah.
You talk about
Absolutely.
how you enjoy your work, and it almost sounds like it
Hmm.
doesn't even really feel like work, which is,
Mm.
I think, a good
Mm.
thing. That's if
Hmm.
that's you can get to that point.
Mm. Mm.
You talked about you've got to find in a post the other day about
Mm.
how finding a higher purpose to your work. I mean, maybe finding a reason why to do it, to get out of bed in the morning to do that. How important is that for someone who's maybe looking to do something like yourself, do a bit of an entrepreneurial thing, or even in a day job, to
Yeah.
to have success? And a sort of second part to that question is, would you say your higher purpose is in your work?
No, that's an absolutely great question, and I'm glad you touched on that, because I think that it's very difficult for us human beings to do work that we don't link that isn't linked to a higher purpose. It's very difficult for us to go through everyday grinding. No one likes making cold calls. No one likes sending emails. No one likes doing the work. It's sometimes it's boring. Sometimes you hate it. If you can't link that to a higher purpose, it's going to be very difficult for you to show up day in day out. It's difficult. You're going to give up 1 month in, 2 months in, 2 months in. Um, Now, for myself, I'll speak from my personal experience and what I go through on a day-to-day basis. I don't mind working 12-hour days or 14-hour days. Me personally, I don't mind it. And the reason I don't mind it is because I know that I have a responsibility for my family. I know that if I don't do it, um, no one else is going to do it. I mean, people are going to do it, but no one else is going to come and help my family out. No one
Mm.
else is going to come and, get my family out of a bad situation in case something happens. And that motivates me. And I know that, and I realize in this world, there's things don't get given to you. You have to earn it. You have to work hard for it. I'm a firm believer in hard work, and I'm a firm believer in that if you give enough effort into the universe will give it back to you. If you put in, if you make 200, 300 cold calls every day, you will get leads. I'm a firm believer in that. I'm a firm believer in that if you put in the hard work day in, day out, something will pay off. If it doesn't pay off, you'll learn and you'll move on. So that's the way I approach things. And sometimes it sucks, and sometimes I hate it, and sometimes there's times where um, you're like, hey, this is why am I doing this? But then you remember, okay, I'm doing it for my family. I want to help my sisters. I want to help my brother. I want to help create a foundation for my family in Australia, and that pushes me to the limits. And I was surprised actually how far I can be pushed, which is really good. And what was the second question? Sorry.
No, you've answered it. Yeah, the second bit was
Oh,
what is your
yeah.
individual particular high purpose?
Yeah, I just wanted to touch on as well, like why is it so important for people? Because like a lot of the people out there who are going through the grind and hustle, they just go through the motions sometimes, and they
Okay.
realize that it's not fun to go through the motions. You go to your work, you make the calls. You have to be looking high. You have to be competitive. You have to want to improve yourself. You want to have to win that next client, bring that business in, uh, grow your company, do something. Otherwise, I don't think there's many other things in life that's more enjoyable than getting better and competing. And I'm sure many people would relate to that, or maybe not. So yeah, that's kind of my take on it. Yeah.
Yeah, obviously the family piece to you is obviously important. It's probably
Yeah.
probably the most common, I think. Higher
Yeah.
purpose that people or reason why that people have, they have a family or kids to provide for, and it's
mm,
pretty strong. Something I think about is maybe if you don't have that, if you don't have, if you're not
mm,
even maybe not that close, and you're maybe struggling to, what would
mm.
you? And I appreciate not the easiest question to answer, but
No, no, no.
what
Yeah.
would you say, to someone who's maybe struggling to find a purpose in their work? Would you say mix it up, try something else? Look, I don't know. What advice would you give that person?
That's a good question. And I think no one has life figured out, right?
Mm,
Everyone's trialing and erroring. Everyone's um looking and predicting what the best next move is and acting accordingly. No one knows. So if you're in a situation, you're by yourself, you don't have anyone to provide to, you're, say for an example, you don't have family and you're not able to find a higher purpose. There's always things you can do to improve yourself, and maybe say, hey, I want to make more money. I want to make more money so I can enjoy myself in life. That's a simple purpose. But
mm,
you got to. Sometimes a lot of people they don't think, or maybe they do, but you need to think about, okay, um, I'm not anywhere. I'm not going anywhere with this. I hate what I'm doing at the moment. It's not working out. What can I stop doing that's wrong, and what can I start doing that's going to start working things in my favor? So if you're in a situation where you're not earning money, okay, can I get to another job? How do I get to another job? Okay, do I start applying to other jobs every single day? Do I start a business? Do I start something where I can improve my life from the current situation that's in? Maybe you're not having high purpose because the stage that you're in life is too comfortable and it doesn't challenge you. Maybe you
yeah,
need to challenge. So I would say definitely try something new. 100% try something new. Try to stop doing the things that are not working. And because you'd be surprised if you try some new things, you might start liking it and you might start doing it a bit more, and that could even result in you might enjoy it and you might maybe result in a career or a business. So
mm,
that's my perspective on it, and I think that might help a lot of people out there. Yeah.
yeah. That really useful. I think that the best piece of that was just try things. That's
Mm,
what if
mm,
someone is feeling a bit stuck or
mm,
struggling for that reason why, and they don't know what to do, that's my advice. Just and especially if you're young, like go out and
mm,
try a bunch of things.
mm,
Like
mm,
you've got there's so many industries, there's so many like things you can do. If you
mm,
don't, you often don't know what you like until you do it. Like, I didn't even
mm,
know about recruitment until I tried it.
mm.
Like I didn't,
Yeah,
I just fell into it and it's great. So really good
absolutely.
take, mate. Like that a lot.
Oh, good.
Next piece,
Yep.
you spoke about you work long hours. You work 12-hour days. You posted about burnout.
Yeah.
Burnout potentially being a bit of a myth.
Yes.
What did you mean by that?
Okay, I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this, and a lot of
Let's
people
hear
have
it.
messaged me and they've told me that, I've got a lot of personal messages saying, hey man, what do you mean? Burnout's real. I get tired. Man, I don't, I think it's not. I don't
Okay.
think it's a real thing. And the only reason I say that is because I've studied a bit of history, right? And human slaves back in the day have worked ever since they've opened their eyes and woken up to the time they've gone to bed. They've just worked and they've lived for years doing it. So if they can do it, me sitting in a laptop the whole day working in the comfort of my home while I sip Starbucks and eat all the food that I want, and I can go and work anywhere I want, to the beach, or I'm living in a comfortable, not war-torn environment. It's just perspective, I think. I think burnout's a perspective. I think if you just shift the way you think about it, um, a lot of people are probably burnt out mainly because they don't enjoy what they're doing, right? If you
Yeah.
don't enjoy what you're doing, obviously you get burnt out pretty quickly. If you do enjoy what you're doing, and if that's what links to the higher purpose. So if there's a higher purpose linked, you would work any amount of hours every day. I'm 100% sure. And I've heard a lot of people come and say, "Oh man, I'm burnt out. I'm burnt out." I'm like, you're probably not enjoying what you're doing.
Yeah.
You probably hate it, and that is causing you to mentally feel exhausted.
Yeah.
You're mentally exhausted, and it's normal. Everyone feels mentally exhausted. So
Yeah.
maybe try to figure out what you can do on the side that you would enjoy. That's actually going to bring you that joy and that adventure, because human beings love adventure. If you're on an adventurous path in your life, whether that's in business or in a goal or in a hobby or anything, a side hustle, you're not going to get burnt out. You do it. Say someone who likes playing football, they'll play football for 10 hours a day.
Mm.
They're not going to complain, "Hey, I'm burnt out," right?
Mm.
So it's just shifting that perspective, and that's my opinion.
Yeah.
Obviously, a lot of people might disagree, and I think just it's if you can shift the way you think about burnout, you'd be surprised how many more hours you can work a day and how much more things that you can do with your time. They'll actually benefit you in the future. And if it doesn't benefit you, it's fine. At least you tried, And yeah.
Yeah, it's more maybe it's almost people use it as not an excuse that they were maybe in the wrong environment. They
Exactly.
might be, but I mean, they might be burnt out, but maybe that's because their boss is, overbearing, or their the culture in the business isn't that so isn't quite right for them.
Exactly. That's a big factor. If you go to work and you have a bunch of people that you're constantly not in favor of, or you're being constantly pressured all the time, you will feel the burnout because it's normal. But then what do you do? That's when you come to solution mode and you think of different ways where you can improve that situation. Maybe go to a particular field that you like. For me, sales, I love the pressure. And that's what I love. I love the pressure of sales. I love the pressure of targets. That drives me. That doesn't
Yeah.
drain me. If someone doesn't like it, probably don't do it then. Probably do something else that you enjoy doing, right? And different people have different personalities, and you just have to figure out what works for you, I guess. I have a
Yeah.
mate of mine who loves being on the computer running Facebook ads. He does a Facebook ads business. He'll
Yeah.
do Facebook ads 13 hours a day. He'll run it for different businesses. But tell him to get on the phones, he hates it,
Mm.
right? And so and so that's the burnout thing that I want to say. It's like, okay, yes, people do get burned out, but you have to figure out how you can make sure that you're leveraging the most of your time, because once time's gone, it's not coming back. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
talk about that person who doesn't like getting on the phones. You also talk about how you love sales.
Yeah.
I want to talk a bit about picking up the phone, making those
Yeah.
cold calls, which I know is something you're big on. You spoke about, I think, in a post recently about people shying away from the phone.
Mm,
Um,
mm, mm.
I know from experience the phone still works, especially
Yeah.
in sales. What advice would you give someone who's maybe struggling, lost a bit of confidence, say, when it comes to picking up the phone? What would you tell them?
Okay. First thing I'd say, it's tough. It's tough when you're calling people, and
Mm.
that's normal. Whether that's you, Joey, I'm pretty sure you, me, everyone relates to that. It's hard to pick up the phone. So acknowledge that it's going to be hard. Um, the second thing you might want to do is, say you're in a particular business or a niche. For an example, I'll pick the most basic thing ever. You're doing a bond cleaning business,
Okay.
right? For lack of a better business. And you're trying to cold call people to win deals. Now, probably the best people to call would be either real estate agents or property owners or um, other cleaning companies. They would be your niche target. You're not
Okay.
going to call the whole world, right? So what happens is, if you can kind of identify your target market and call them, that would save you a lot of trouble, because you have people who need the service and you're just a facilitator to give it to them. So if you're calling people who are not going to need the service, you're obviously going to be disheartened and it's not going to
Mm.
make sense and you're going to hate it. And so that's identifying the market part. The second bit of advice I'd like to give is that, look, I'm no expert, but what I'd like to say is that the reason I pick up the phone is that there's no bigger impact you're going to make on a person than a phone call. Uh, People receive thousands of emails every day. They're getting ignored. If you're picking up the phones and making calls, I think you're ahead of most businesses and most of the market, because a lot of people don't do it, and a lot of people shy away from doing it. So if you're doing it, then you're probably ahead of the curve, I think, in terms of reaching out to clients. And obviously, you get a lot of rejection, and rejection is hard. Not a lot of people don't want being told 100 no's. But my thinking, and I always remember a quote from Alex Hermosi. He says, "You don't lose money from no's," which really hit me that day. And I was like, so I did cold calling for my friend just on the side to help him with his bond cleaning business. So I made about, I think, 250 cold calls over the course of 2 days, and we got like 5 contracts, right? But so that was 245 no's before that 5 yeses, and so each contract was worth like a lot of money. So sometimes, and sometimes you might not even get those yeses, but I don't think you're losing money from no's. I had this other mate of mine who was this absolute like psychopath, and he would do door knocking and he would do cold calling, right? He would just be like, okay, 1, okay, 2, okay, 3, okay, 4, okay, 5, and he would just keep going. And he was the highest producer for the company. Like, he was in my previous company in Prometheus. He would just keep calling. He was relentless, and he brought the maximum amount of revenue for the company. So I think there's no light without dark in that regard. So as long as you're willing to go through the dark, then you might get some light at the end. Yeah,
I like it. I think the first bit about picking your target accounts is really important. It's something that a lot of people, sort of neglect in the process. They, just spray and pray a little bit, speak to everyone and anyone. Sorry, and it's almost an evolving process as well. Like when you say you get those no's, you're not, as you say, you're not losing anything, but what you're gaining is you're then, if that's a no and they're not the right fit for you or whatever, and then they're now off the list, so you can then hone in on the right ideal sort of customer profiles, and then it's just about putting in, as I always say, just putting in the time, putting in the reps.
Absolutely.
And as you say, developing that fearless mindset to just not be scared of the no's.
Absolutely. And you have to go in with the mindset sometimes that everyone gets hurt with rejections. It's normal. You feel it. Everyone's human. But I think it's just detaching yourself from the outcome, from the fact that someone is saying no, not just because they hate you. They just may not want the service or product that you're offering, or they're not interested in the solution that you can offer. And that's normal. Like, like they might have a bad day with their wife, or, they had a shitty meeting maybe with their boss, or something. You never know, man. People are caught off guard many times, and I personally, if I get cold calls, I don't pick them up. Sometimes I pick, hey, sorry, not interested, right? And the other person on the line might be disheartened, but doesn't mean that they should stop. I'm not the customer that they want.
Exactly.
They might get the customer that they want if they just keep calling and keep, I guess, targeting that ideal audience. Because if you just target that ideal audience and you learn how to do that, and there's no way you can target your ideal audience unless you do a bit of research and make some cold calls. And then you'll realize, okay, these are people that don't want it, these are people that might want it, and then you can focus more on the people that want it. It's like it just evolves as you go.
Yeah. Next one.
Yeah.
Your standards are too high. Don't aim for perfection. Rather do something at 40% than not at all.
Yeah.
Why is something done at maybe 40% better than not at all?
That's a good point. That's a good question, actually, because I notice, and I speak from personal experience, I used to want to do certain tasks, right? For example, something as simple as going to the gym, or something as simple as writing a post, or something as simple as shooting a video. Let's take these 3 things. I used to be so lazy because I used to overthink, oh, I can't go to the gym because I have to have my perfect supplements and I have to eat my meal beforehand. I have to have my clothes. I don't want to go to the gym. It's too much effort, right? Then what I started doing was I started saying, okay, you know what? I'll just go to the gym. I don't care if I'm going in track shorts or pants or whatever. I'll just go to the gym and I'll do a workout. And I realized that even if it was a shitty workout, it was something that I didn't like. It was a really inefficient workout. I'd realized that those inefficient moments actually build you reps. And over the course of time, it actually made me stronger. And even for an example, when shooting my YouTube video, I would not have the perfect idea to shoot my YouTube video or my TikToks, right? I would generally just sometimes not do it because I didn't have the perfect idea. Whereas I just think if you have an imperfect idea, go ahead and shoot it. And then it flops or you make a mistake, then you can alter that. Because a lot of people just overthink and overanalyze things. I think the people who learn the quickest are the people who do than the people who overanalyze and think. So you rather do 100 things at 40%, 50% efficiency or quality, then you will learn, okay, because you're anyway going to do it. Even if you overthink it, you're anyway not going to do it well in the first few goes, or you're anyway not going to smash it out. So just go through that phase of not doing it well. Then you realize, okay, I'm doing this wrong. I can do this better. If you don't do anything in the first place, it's hard to, it's hard. I think humans learn better by doing than by thinking and analyzing.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's my that's the reason I think that it's rather just do it at 40% efficiency. It's fine as long as you're doing it. Say you want
Yeah.
to do I don't know, maybe someone wants to do copywriting for business, right? Who cares? Just do it at 50-60% efficiency. They'll tell you if it's bad, and then okay, it's bad, and you can improve. You wouldn't know if it's bad if you didn't do it. So it's like that's kind of the mindset that I come from, and I wanted to put that out because I have a lot of friends who are saying, oh, I wanted to do this, but I didn't do it because it's too many complications. Or I wanted to do this, but I wanted to go to this class, this boxing class, but I didn't want to go because you need this and this, and you need gloves and all that. I'm like, just go to the class, figure out the gloves and all later. Go there,
Yeah.
do it, and then even if you're shit at boxing and you do it at 40%, 50% efficiency, give it a few weeks. You'll figure it out. You'll figure it out. Yeah.
There is no perfect time.
No.
Is
No.
the answer. Like if you're waiting for the perfect time to start something, you'll be waiting forever. And if you're
Mm.
waiting for the only way to get that perfection, so to speak, is to do something when you suck and suck at it for a long time.
Yeah.
And then over time, you might not even realize that you've achieved that perfection which you were maybe waiting for. But you have to. It's like what I think I posted
Yeah.
about this morning. If you want to increase your success rate, double your failure rate. So just
Exactly.
double just fail as much as you can. Suck
Yeah.
for even this podcast. I'm sucking at it right now. I'm putting in reps at the moment to
Better than me.
improve. So yeah, man. So it did. It's just like it's. I think so. I first got it from Mark Manson,
Mm.
author of a bunch of books. It was just like just start. Just like it's like right first thing. If you want to, don't try and wait for have everything perfect. If you want to start a company, right, first thing, let's just make a website. That's then it's just about getting the ball. I'm just trying to build momentum rather than. So I always tell them, just build momentum rather than try and chase that perfection. So yeah, I like that one. That really
Yeah,
resonates,
I just
mate.
want to quickly add to
Yeah,
that as
shoot.
well. The amount of TikTok videos that I've shot that didn't go more than 200 views, is normal. Like I'll still shoot them
Mm.
because it doesn't matter. Like it's like I've shot like countless videos and none of them have, for lack of a term, gone viral or something like that. But now I know after shooting 50, 60 videos that okay, this doesn't work, this goes viral. Rather than planning for a month on which
Mm.
video goes viral or not. So yeah, that's a good point to touch on. Fail many times before you succeed.
Absolutely. Back to sales.
Yeah.
You posted a while back about it's okay to be a little bit pushy. What did you mean by that? Or be a bit pushy in sales, in your sales process?
Yes, that's a good point. Now, a lot of I might be a bit old school in terms of sales sometimes because I used to do a lot of cold calling when I was in uni as well, and as soon as I graduated uni, I did many of SDR roles. Um, a lot of salespeople I feel like take no's pretty easily from clients, and I believe that the only job of a salesperson is to obviously help the customer, which is very important, but also to push the sale forward. I think it's very important that you push the sale forward.
Mm.
Every obviously you're trying to help them. Don't sell a product that the customer doesn't need. Don't sell a service. Don't be unethical. I'm not saying be unethical. What I'm saying is if you think you can help a customer, try to figure out ways where you can sometimes be a bit pushy with customers because some people just need a bit of a push. And if your product actually helps them, why not say you have the cure to cancer? Are you going to be like, hey man, if someone has cancer, you'll be like, oh, you know, you, I don't think you need it, but no, you'll be like, hey man, you need this, get it, please take it, it's going to help you, trust me. You'll be like, no, I'll be like, man, look, why aren't you taking it? Oh, because of this. Okay, look, try this out. So you'll be pushy. So if you actually believe that your products or something's going to help them, it's okay, a little bit pushy, it's fine, you're not going to lose anything, but don't be too pushy as well. Don't be like don't be too aggressive and
Yeah.
push people. Be very tactful about it. Be very tactful, ask the right questions. For example, in one of my sales calls, a customer did not want to get some of their services across or renew them, and it was a no-brainer for me that they should, because it was like, it's just a no-brainer. You're not because we sell these GPS trackers, so if you don't have them, you're going to be blind on where your employees are. They said, oh, we don't need them, we don't want to pay $20 a month. I'm like, okay, but how are you going to know where your employees are? You're going to lose this much, you're going to lose that, blah blah blah. And then it made sense to them. Whereas if I probably went, oh, it's too much, it's okay, it's fine. So sometimes you'd be surprised. I was actually surprised, and I learned that over the years, that if you're a little bit pushy and you try to move the sale forward constantly, you will close more. You will actually get more sales than not. And it's sometimes difficult to do because you don't want to ruin the relationship and you want to keep everything's intact. But sometimes it's okay to prod and challenge the customer a bit. If you actually believe, that it's going to help them. Yeah.
I think that last bit, if you genuinely believe that you can help them, is the key. If the customer can smell your commission breath from a mile away, and they just feel like you're solely doing it for yourself, and you're not really listening to them or whatever, that's the distinction. I think it's your job, right? As you say, it is your job to drive. The salesperson's job is their job to drive the process forward. So it's up to you to be setting next steps, setting deadlines, closing them down. But it's done well when they don't even realize it. When the customer doesn't even realize that they've been sort of taken on this journey. So yeah, I like your point, mate. I wanna take this chat a little bit personal now.
Absolutely.
I want to get it into yourself, your own journey. You've moved around a bit. You've relocated to Australia. How would you sort of describe your journey of that sort of relocation and settling into life on these shores?
Yeah, it's a great question, man. So I came to Australia when I was 17. I came as a student. Because I was under 18, I had to stay in a homestay for about 6 months with this family who took care of me. I think being as a young person, it's really helpful if you go and live on your own in a foreign country. The reason I say that is because it'll teach you how to, obviously, it taught me a lot. It taught me a lot about people. It taught me a lot about how to engage with people. It taught me a lot about building a life on my own, because in Qatar, I was pampered and taken care of by my parents, right? Everything was given to me. It's set. I had food, I had my laundry, everything was good. I come home, I'm a king. And I came here and nobody cares about you. Everyone has got their own troubles. You got to figure life out on your own. And it really taught me personal responsibility. And the journey's been great. I think in particular, especially getting the permanent residency in Australia, that was one of the most stressful times I've ever gone under, because I remember I had I think 1 month left on my visa, and I wasn't getting my PR invitation. So I said, okay, cool, I'm going to give up, sold my car, gave my house away on rent. And 2 weeks before I was going to leave, I got the invitation for the PR. So I went and bought back another car and got another house on rent. That was a really interesting phase. Yeah, no, it's.
How long did it take to get PR?
It took me at least a year from application. Yeah.
What? Sorry, a year from arriving here, or?
No. Oh, yeah. So I've been here for about 6 years before I was eligible to apply. Because I did 4 years of my uni degree in QUT in mechanical engineering, and I worked for about a couple of years. So I used that experience to obviously apply for my PR, and then I had to wait for a year before they accepted it and stuff. And I'm kind of glad that I went through that process. Obviously, I had some great friends, and I had some amazing people who helped out. And I think that's really important. If you're coming here as a student, find the right people a student or anyone, find the right friends.
You
To be with.
You need those people around you for sure.
100%. 100%.
Mate, I want to talk about your sort of, I guess, let's describe it as business acumen. You follow a bunch of people, you do your own
Mm,
studies, and you've got a bunch of sort of people you have as
mm.
mentors. Who have been maybe the most sort of influential people to you that have sort of guided you and you've learned from, that have sort of allowed you to be where you are today, do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to give you a mentor who's my team leader, and I'm also going to give you a mentor who I admire online.
Okay.
So the first one was one of my team leads in Concentrics, who was Atish. Atish was a manager who taught me the true meaning of leadership. He was such a great motivator and such a great team player and such a great team manager. A few of the things he taught me about was how to speak to clients, how to win clients, how to essentially make sales, how to call people, how to interact. Because I was fresh out of uni, didn't know anything about anything. He taught me about a lot of things about life as well, about relationships. Um, and he was my team leader in Concentrics for a couple of years, and I enjoyed every single bit of it. And Atish been in Australia for a while. He's worked in Concentrics for a few years, and I think he kind of guided me through that whole phase while I was in that that initial phase out of uni where you're not sure what you want to do, where you want to go. He kind of helped me with a lot of those stuff and a lot of those problems and guided me through how to speak to clients. And yeah, that was great. Another really influential person that I've been following for a while. And obviously, sorry, I want to mention my dad as well. I have to say my dad, because I think my dad has been the biggest role model in my life. Like he's what I'd want to. If I can be half of what my father is, I'd be so happy, because very he's got amazing business acumen. Amazing. My dad can. He's got an amazing business acumen. He knows what markets to target. Like he's dominating the healthcare market in Qatar, back in the Middle East. And watching him work, he leads a whole team of, I think, 50, 60 people. Watching him lead the team, how he interacts with them, how he takes care of them, how he gets the best work out of people, and at the same time make sure that they're taken care of is outstanding. He's got amazing EQ. I think a leader needs like a really high emotional intelligence. They need really high emotional intelligence, and know when to press them a bit, know when to be a bit of a bad cop as well, because you need that. Um, my dad has been amazing. He's been supporting me throughout all my failures. He said, "You failed 10 times, I'll be with you." So I'm so lucky to have a father like that. Another person is Alex Hormozy. I really like him. Watching his stuff online, I think he's a really positive influence on the world. I think really positive influence to a lot of business owners and people in sales. The main reason I think he's amazing is because he tells you things as it is. He doesn't sugarcoat stuff. And I think a lot of the people nowadays need that, and his messaging is really positive. So yeah.
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 Yeah, really good man. He has really blown up in the last few years, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Couple more for you, mate.
Yeah, go for
As
it.
we come into the new year, we spoke a little bit about at the start, but some of the goals. What do you what do you think in the future holds for you? And I know that's not easy to answer, but a
No,
crystal ball. But what are some of say shorter term goals that I can expect from you in the near future?
yeah, no, it's a good question. So some of the things that I'd like to obviously do in the future is, first of all, grow at Emerald International, but at the same time growing my career as well. Getting more into the trying to improve my sales skills, trying to improve my understanding of marketing and business. That's definitely something I'd want to do, especially marketing, because I think there's a lot to learn there. Um, and at the same time, work on my health and fitness. I think that's so important. I'm on this health fitness journey where I'm obviously trying to get fitter and stronger, and we're in a work in progress. So that's my goal for this year, and I've been doing it for the last couple of years. I just want to be consistent.
Yeah,
I think if I maintain my consistency this year, I'll be very happy. If I do the things that I'm doing every single day for the whole year, I'll be very, very happy.
yeah,
Um, because I think it's hard to do, and yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
I love that. Love having the goal of consistency. That's
yeah,
the
yeah,
the secret sauce to it.
yeah,
This might tie to those a little bit, but
yeah.
what is, and this is my typical closing question, what does success mean to you in your life?
Success for me means my family's happy. Success means that my mum, my sisters, my brother, my dad doesn't have to struggle another day in their life. That's what success means to me. Um, that's and success also means that I'm doing something that actually makes a difference, that actually brings some positive impact on the world. Uh, I think that if there's anything, I don't even want to be remembered. If there's anything that I want out there, is that Shimark has helped X amount of people out of for a certain thing. Um, that is success.
Yeah.
Money comes and goes, but yeah. And if my family's happy as well, that's because I'm a big family person. Sri Lankans, we're very close to our family. I talk to my mom and dad every day, so not for make friends make fun of me for that, but that's what I do. But yeah, no, yeah, that's what success means.
Yeah, I love it, man. Love it. Really good to talk to you, mate. Thank you for taking the time to
Anytime,
jump on this, have a chat. I appreciate everything you shared
anytime, man.
with me today. Loads of great takeaways for anyone listening. Shamak, thank you very much.
Anytime, my friend. Anytime. Thanks for the chat. Cheers.